I'm about to shoutcast Pokemans.
We told them not. We told them not to. Yeah,
Yeah,
we told them
yeah.
not to. I have a timer running for a time extension for them.
Alrighty. Looks like we're starting off for our weekly Pokemon tournament for the Forge. Arceus, Lord Vulpix, Lost Box, right?
Yeah, so we have Wyatt here on the left playing Turbo Lost Box with a little bit of Galarian Zapdos V spice in it to deal with Arceus Dex. And then on the right here we have Julian who's playing Arceus V-Star with Alolan Vulpix.
From my understanding, too, he's only playing Arceus and Alolan Vulpix.
That's what he told us. So
Like he cooking.
yeah, we'll see. So I think our players are just about ready to get going here.
Who's going first?
Not sure if they're aware that they're able to start, but we'll see. They were told to start. You wanna?
Let me go tell them.
You
that
wanna
they
go
can
tell
start?
them? Yeah. Let's see how they're doing.
Alrighty.
All right, so we have Julian here on the right. Looks like he's starting off with an Ultra Ball here. I think he's Ultra Balling away. I believe that's an Arceus V or maybe an Alolan Vulpix V and a Lumineon. Two pretty good cards that you probably want to have on your bench, but it looks like he is, yeah, that must be an Arceus V then. He's Ultra Balling away. Lumineon and Arceus to go find himself an Alolan Vulpix here. I haven't gotten a chance to see what's in his hand yet, but I would imagine that means he's got a supporter if he's Ultra Balling away that Lumineon. And probably doesn't feel the need, I guess, to set up a second Arceus, which could maybe come back to haunt him if he doesn't know about the Galarian Zapdos.
That's the sweet part, right? Like, what's the requirement for him to be able to use that attack for cheaper? Is it just the amount of V's that he has in play?
Yeah, so the Galarian Zapdos V has an ability, or I think it's part of its attack, is its attack cost is one colorless less per V your opponent has in play. But it looks like Julian ends his turn there by benching that Vulpix, attaching a DTE to the Arceus V, and we pass it on over to Wyatt here, who's got a great start. He's got Comfey in the active, Battle VIP pass for a Comfey and a Radiant Greninja. So the only thing better here for him is if he can find himself a Colress and maybe another VIP pass.
Oh yeah, then he'd be off to the races
But
at that point.
he's so shuffling up here. I'm sure we'll start to see a few flower selecting. So there's the first. He's discarding that water energy, using the Radiant Greninja's concealed cards ability to draw 2 cards. I saw a Clara in hand there. Not sure what else. Looks like he is using flower selecting here, trying to decide what to take off of this. I didn't see what he took, but it looks like he sent a VIP pass to the Lost Zone. It must have been a Colress there on that decision, because he's using Colress here now. I saw a Heavy Ball there, maybe a Nest Ball. Deciding on a few other cards.
That must have been really good.
Sending a Comfey, and I didn't quite see what else to the Lost Zone there. He does have a Forest Sealstone and that Galarian Zapdos V in hand. So there is actually a world here, for Wyatt here, where he could get a Mirage Gate play off on turn 1 and KO that Arceus V. It's going to take a couple flower selectings. He's going to need to find a Mirage Gate, and he's going to need to find the Lost Vacuum, but he's already had the Colress. We've got 3 in the Lost Zone, So another flower selecting. Looks like Wyatt's cards are going everywhere there, but another flower selecting gets him to 4. And then a third flower selecting and a vacuum gets him there. So,
Yes, it's a shame that this is only game best of ones right now because
it looks like he's got that Mirage Gate in hand as well. He's using that nest ball here. Let's see what he's searching for. Probably another comfy if I had to guess. Oh no, he's flower selecting. That was what that nest ball was. So flower selecting, chooses to throw away that nest ball into the lost zone. But if he wants to get this attack off here, it looks like he has the Raikou V in hand as well. But it looks like he's just choosing to pass. So not a bad turn for Wyatt. He would have rather gotten maybe at least a Cramorant hit in or an attack off, but he did get that Colress. It looks like for Julian's side of things here, he has that energy attached to the Arceus V, and we're gonna Iono, sending both players' hands to the bottom of their decks, and each of them drawing a card for how many prize cards they have left in their deck or in play.
Looks like we have a Flying Pikachu V with the Alolan Vulpix. Now this makes more sense. Yes, it makes way more sense.
It looks like Julian did find the Arceus V-Star there, which is good. He's got that energy for turn as well. And the Alolan Vulpix V has evolved into the Alolan Vulpix V-Star. So interesting to see if he chooses to Starbirth here or not.
What would he want to get?
Yeah, I haven't been able to see what his hand is,
right.
But it does look like he is choosing to Starbirth here. He's either picked up his deck to Starbirth or he's using Trinity Nova. I'm not quite sure which.
So would you want to go ahead and power up the Alolan Vulpix V-Star versus the Pikachu, or would you just go ahead and just do the Pikachu? Because I think most of Lost Box decks are just all basic Pokemon, right?
So it looks like he is using Trinity Nova here. Wyatt threw that Comfey into the discard pile, so that Comfey's been knocked out. I would personally, depending on my hand, if I feel like I have a way to get that Pikachu VMAX, I'm probably putting 2 energy on the Pika and 1 on the Vulpix. Right. That means energy for turn, either a DTE to the Vulpix or an energy onto the Pika. Both of them are now powered up next turn.
It looks like he was able to save the V-Star, his Starburst too, so he can save that for more important cards later on.
Now it looks like Wyatt did have that Zapdos V in hand even after the Iono, so we must have been seeing that in his deck earlier. But he's got a pretty tough choice on this flower selecting here. It looks like a few energy, a Sableye, a Lost Vacuum, and Mirage Gate is, I believe, what I saw there. And so probably an energy is going away. I think that was a Psychic Energy and Lost Vacuum that he was forced to get rid of off that Colress.
Looking like he kept the Quartz, the Switch card, and the Escape Room.
Yeah, so keeping himself some switching options. I think he's got an energy in hand, so he may be able to conceal the cards.
Does actually.
No, okay.
So
he should be to 7 in the Lost Zone now, it looks like to me. So if he did, I believe, have a Mirage Gate in that opening hand off of that Iono or off of the Colress, he should be able to power up that Galarian Zapdos. And it looks like he does have that Mirage Gate in hand, so I would not be surprised to see that Zapdos getting powered up here and taking a KO on the Arceus. And note that Julian does have 3 Pokemon V in play now, so he only needs to put 1 energy on that Zapdos to attack, which is crazy. And that Zapdos is going to come in and do 340 damage, I believe, with weakness. So that's definitely going to take care of that Arceus here.
So he's not open to Starbirth anymore either after that too. So
yeah. The other tough thing I think going into next turn for Julian is none of his Pokemon are going to be able to one-shot this Galarian Zapdos V. So he's going to be having a tough decision here. Obviously, the Pikachu, if he can find the VMAX, can ensure that he doesn't take damage from basic Pokemon. But he's not going to be able to take 2 prizes on this turn on that Zapdos. It's either going to be 1 prize on the Comfey or the Greninja, or just hitting into that Zapdos and 2-shotting it here.
Like he's thinking on what to put out next.
Yeah, I think here for me, this is the obvious choice is always send up that Pikachu.
Oh.
You have free retreat, but it does look like he's going in with the Alolan Vulpix, which makes a little bit of sense as well as if he has a double turbo energy in hand. Wow, it looks like he's got a Radiant Charizard in this list too. So we got some spice going on in here.
Cooking.
But that Alolan Vulpix V-Star's attack is going to ensure that Pokemon with abilities are not able to do damage to it on the next turn, and that Galarian Zapdos V does have an ability. So if he has the double turbo energy to power up that Alolan Vulpix, then he's also going to be kind of walling against that as well. But I do think that it's probably still a good idea to send up that Pikachu. You always have that free retreat option. Gives you more options. It looks like we're going to see a Serena here, discarding the rest of his hand and filling it up to 5 cards. So we'll see what Julian's able to get off of the Serena. I'm sure he's hoping he's got the DTE already attached to that Vulpix. Probably hoping to find a VMAX. And whatever energy he needs to power up that Radiant Charizard at some point. I'm sure he's probably got Luminous Energy or something like that in the deck.
You think it was too early to play that Radiant Charizard though? I feel like that's just going to be a detriment right now, just because.
Yeah, I think probably a mistake ultimately. We'll see if it comes back to bite him, but that Pikachu and that Vulpix can wall, but not if Wyatt's able to play Escape Ropes. And what benching that Charizard means is that on the next. Or once this Vulpix is knocked out, Wyatt still has a way to rope around that Pikachu.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it looks like we did do 140 damage there from that Alolan Vulpix V-Star to the Galarian Zapdos. And then Wyatt has gone out of the active with that Zapdos to use Flower Selecting on Comfey. Looks like he got rid of a Psychic Energy, which I think he might have gotten rid of a Psychic Energy earlier. So that means he's getting low on Psychic Energy. But maybe he's not planning on doing too much work with Sableye in this matchup. He can one-shot this Vulpix V-Star with Dragonite V, which he's just benched if he's able to find potentially some rods if he needs to get some energy back. But ultimately, he's going to probably need 2 Mirage Gates to pull off this play.
Have we been paying attention to how many energies he's been discarding to the discard pile? And see a water and electric.
Yeah, I'm seeing a water and electric in there. At least he's got a water on the Greninja right now. So he might be, depending on what's in his hand, he might be running a little low on energy. We don't know what his prize cards are. We'll see what Wyatt's able to do here. I see 1 Mirage Gate in hand. Looks like he's played an Escape Rope here. Forcing Julian to send up that Flying Pikachu V. And Wyatt's going right into that Dragonite, so it does look like Wyatt has a way to power this Dragonite V up this turn, which is really bad news for Julian, as he doesn't have a way to one-shot that Dragonite unless he's able to power up that Radiant Charizard, which I think is probably doubtful at this point. Unless he's got the energy he needs in hand, Wyatt will go down to 2 prize cards remaining if he takes the KO with this Dragonite V, which means that the Charizard will be able to just attack for 1 fire energy with its ability.
Currently, we have a there.
Oh, there we go.
It's like
no
attacked by a blob.
All right, so it looks like Wyatt's been able to get another Comfey out here.
Okay.
And his hand.
Is that his hand right there? We see is that his?
I see a Forest Seal Stone. It looks like that was his deck.
Oh, that was
though.
his deck. Yeah, because his hand's over there on the top.
Yeah, I think he used a Nest Ball there for that Comfey.
Right.
Wyatt shuffling up here. I see 2 Mirage Gates in hand. So
he has,
and I believe a rod as well.
Oh, wow.
So I think he's gonna be able to potentially take a really big knockout here on this Pikachu. Wyatt sending away that switch card to the Lost Zone off of that Comfey. I'm not sure what he grabbed there. It looked like a Clara potentially, which is definitely a card he's going to want to hold on to just for some energy and Pokemon recovery.
Yeah, so if this Flying Pikachu gets knocked out, all he has is Alolan Vulpix V-Star left. You can just keep that Dragonite alive, huh? It's pretty much game over for him. Unless you can stall out with that Radiant Charizard, huh?
Yeah, so luckily for Julian, I think
He didn't have it.
Wyatt's using another escape rope here.
Oh, okay.
And Julian's trying to decide what to send up, and it looks like he sent up the Radiant Charizard, which is definitely the correct call here. I think you have to assume that Wyatt's got the Dragonite play in hand. But actually, interestingly, sending up the Charizard gives Wyatt license to use the Radiant Greninja here,
smart play
which
right
is
here.
going to take a knockout on that Radiant Charizard with weakness and be able to set up probably that Flying Pikachu V for a knockout in case it evolves into a VMAX next turn. So Radiant Greninja's a Moonlight Shuriken attack, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, and do 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Let's see who Wyatt chooses to deal that damage to. So it looks like he's KO'd the Charizard and put 90 damage onto the Flying Pikachu V.
That only having the one Arceus at the beginning is definitely biting him at the end of this game right here. Man.
Yeah, Wyatt being able to take that turn 2 KO with weakness on that Arceus V really puts Julian in a tough position.
Definitely was not expecting the Zapdos, so. Now we know, folks. 2 Arceus.
2 Arceus, I think Julian might be kicking himself from Ultra Balling away that
I
Arceus
know,
V.
he had it too. He had it there.
And that means also he was never able to Starbirth. So he does technically still have the V-Star power. I don't think the Alolan Vulpix's V-Star power is going to help him out too much here.
Definitely not. He's not going to even one-shot anything right now.
No. So it looks like we take a KO there on Julian's side with the Alolan Vulpix V-Star, doing 140 damage now with that double turbo energy attached, but still able to KO the Radiant Greninja there. Looks like Wyatt's going in with a Flower Selecting, choosing to send a Force Seal Stone to the Lost Zone. And then a retreating out for free with that Beach Court that's still in play, going into a second Comfey here.
I'm surprised he discarded that Forest Seal Stone. Did he, because it looks like he still hasn't used his V-Star ability yet. Does he already have one?
I think he might have one in hand if I'm not
gotcha.
wrong.
That
But
makes sense.
he looks like he's benched a Sableye as well, attached a Psychic Energy to it. So, and yes, looks like he's using Switch Cart going out into Sableye. So because of what he chose to do last turn with attacking with the Greninja, maybe made it so that he was unable to attack with the Dragonite here to take that KO on Alolan Vulpix, but he was able to knock out that Flying Pikachu V after putting 90 damage on it with the Greninja last turn. So that sends Wyatt down to 1 prize card remaining, which actually is kind of scary for Wyatt potentially if Julian's got something like an Io in hand. But we'll see what Julian's able to put together here. He will take a knockout on this Sableye. But if he's not able to disrupt Wyatt's hand, I think Wyatt probably is going to be able to take that final KO with the Dragonite. Now, unfortunately for Julian, it looks like he is forced to Serena here. So discarding up to 3 cards from hand, and then filling his hand back to 5.
How are you feeling about the Serena instead of Boss's Orders with his deck right now? Obviously, you get the variety, you get the choice of being able to use Boss's Orders for only V Pokemon, but as of right now, we have basic Pokemon in game now, EXs, so it's very limited in the choice. So
yeah, I think it's interesting. It gives you more options, and we've seen it utilized well in this match in particular for Julian because he's been able to draw cards with it when he doesn't really need to be bossing against Lost Box nearly as much. But I think he would definitely prefer to have a Judge or an Iona there.
Yeah,
It looks like
definitely.
Wyatt's just about to take game here. He immediately promotes the Dragonite. He already had a Water Energy on it, and he has Mirage Gate in hand. And Wyatt takes that game, unfortunately, 6-4 against, or 6-2 against Julian.
man,
So a pretty quick game we saw there. I think, unfortunately for Julian, he might not have expected that Galarian Zapdos V. That definitely is a spicy sort of card in Wyatt's deck. What do you think of that inclusion there, that Galarian Zapdos?
Hey, look, Arceus has been a very popular card in our local meta and just one of the other cuts that we've seen here. So, I mean, hey, it's done. It's put in the work. It makes sense. I think it's a great. I thought it was a very good inclusion,
Yeah.
especially for our meta right now. So
Yeah, and I think it undeniably probably won Wyatt the game there.
Definitely.
And a lot of other Lost Box lists, there was no way for Wyatt to take that one hit KO on that Arceus for just one energy, and that really set Julian behind from the start. So we'll give it about a minute here. Our players are kind of putting their decks away, and then we'll bring Wyatt in here for a player interview. So. Right. Yeah. So, what do you think of Julian's deck? I'm a big fan of Flying Pikachu.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. I wish we could have seen more of it. It's just that he was a little greedy with just the one Arceus, But like you said, it's having a Galarian Zapdos is in a Lost Box deck was very unsuspecting, So maybe in the future he'll pay more attention to it. Maybe he'll catch some fire, into some of the other whenever we get cups and stuff. Let's see more Galarian Zapdos. Because Galarian Zapdos is a really good card, being able to play, use it only for like one fighting energy, and it counters most popular V-Star Pokemon in the game right now.
Absolutely.
Arceus,
Yeah, so definitely an interesting deck from Julian. I think that Alolan Vulpix definitely puts in some work against certain decks like Chien-Pao, where all of its attackers have abilities and that sort of thing. But I think we're gonna get Wyatt in here for a player interview. Do we have him coming in?
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
Do you wanna go grab Wyatt and we'll do a quick player interview?
And then we'll have.
Oh,
You crushed it.
yeah.
Are we? All right, welcome back. We have Wyatt here, who just played in that last round. Congratulations, Wyatt, on the first win of the night playing Turbo Lost Box. Tell me about your deck choice. I know you were sort of talking about playing something different before we started, but you ultimately landed on what I think is probably your favorite deck, Turbo Lost Box.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing the Rapid Strike Urshifu, but then just seeing how many decks there are here and then how many that Rapid Strike Urshifu doesn't do good into, I just decided to go for a good old Lost Box.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think one of your sort of spicy includes in your own Lost Box deck is that Galarian Zapdos V, which put in a lot of work that game. Tell us about that.
I'm a big fan of the Galarian Zapdos V. It's won me a lot of games against the Arceus meta that we have a lot of in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think it definitely put in a lot of work that match. Specifically, Julian chose to only bench one Arceus, and when you were able to take that turn 2 knockout with weakness on the Arceus, he had nothing to respond to that Zapdos with. There was no way for him to one-hit KO it, and ultimately he was never able to Starbirth even in that game. So pretty cool. So tell us more about, when did you start playing? How long have you been playing? What sort of decks have you been enjoying, and what are you looking forward to in this next season as we get into the new season?
I started playing back in January, so I'm a very new player. I've started with Lost Box, and I've been my most consistent deck so far. I've played it almost every CP event that I've been to.
Nice.
And I've been doing well. So
Yeah,
that's good.
that's a good deck. It's a good deck to choose. I think it's got some longevity as well. So what are some of your goals for this next season as we go into the 2024 season here?
Definitely go to more regionals, and I had a lot of fun in Milwaukee, which was my first regional.
Yeah.
And I just hope to go to more, do better.
Nice. Are you chasing a Worlds invite at all?
I'd like to, but I don't know. It just depends on how the rest of the season goes.
For sure. And have you been to any cups this season?
Yeah, I went to the Bunker Cup, and that was my only cup this season.
Okay. You got top 4 there,
Got
right?
top 4, yep.
So you're on your way to your invite a little bit here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on that leaderboard.
Yep, slowly but surely.
All right. Well, thank you, Wyatt. Good luck in the rest of your
Thank you.
rounds. All right.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you later.
Alrighty, looks like we're going off to round 2. We got a nice spicy matchup here today. We have Miraidon EX with Flaffy against Wugtrio.
So we got John here on the left piloting that Wugtrio mill deck. So a little bit different game we're going to have here than last round. Isaiah on the right here playing Miraidon EX is going to be trying to take 6 prizes as fast as he can. While
Alrighty,
John
looks
on the
like we're
left
going
here is
off
just
to
going to
round
try
two. We got
to
a
be trying
nice spicy
to
matchup here
discard
today.
Isaiah's whole
We
deck
have-
before Isaiah can take 6 prizes and win the game that way. So looks like John is going first here. He's got a Bidoof there in the active. Played a great ball, and I believe I saw he took a Wiglet off of that.
Oh boy, it's
starting
starting
now.
Yup, it's starting now. So what would you give Isaiah? What advice would you give Isaiah to be when playing against a mill deck?
I would say draw as few cards as possible. Just power up one attacker and get going.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
not like they're gonna be knocking any of your Pokemon. So
Yeah. So looks like John has grabbed another Wiglet there off a second Great Ball.
okay.
So he's getting those Wiglets out, ready to,
Oh, is he-
to evolve into the
Hey,
Wug.
I mean, look. So it's like, is there a specific reason why he's doing Great Ball instead of like maybe Nest Ball or anything like that sorts?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's got like a ton of ball search in that deck. He might have
maybe-
be maxed
maybe
out
he-
on Nest Balls, level
he has
balls,
4.
all of them. You never know.
Yeah.
But John benching 2 Wiglets here. Looks like he's got a barrel in hand for next turn, and potentially a Wugtrio, I think, as well.
Like he has though, it's kind of dangerous to leave that Bidoof up in the front. Raikou can definitely turn 1, knock it out
Yeah.
if he has the card. So let's see what he can do.
So it looks like Isaiah here is utilizing Miraidon EX's ability to search his deck for 2 lightning Pokemon and putting them on his bench. My guess here is we'll probably see a Mareep come down and maybe another Miraidon to use a second ability.
I think I saw a Drapion in there as well, so hopefully he doesn't draw that card off of this. Hopefully he just gets milled with the rest of his cards. So
yeah, that's a card that he's okay getting discarded this match, for sure. So it looks like Isaiah's actually grabbing a Regieleki here and a Mareep.
I guess that'd be okay, just because I mean, if he just uses another Miraidon, it's just 2 more cards that's 2 less cards that John has to mill
Yeah.
away from him.
Looks like John is showing Isaiah pictures of his cat, which John is prone to do on occasion.
Oh, I did not know this.
I don't know.
So it's just leading to a false sense of security.
Yeah, I don't know what he's showing in there, but looks like Isaiah does have a pretty good hand here. He's got the 4 Seal Stone, some Trekking Shoes, and Energy, a Nest Ball to go find another Pokemon. But it looks like we're starting here with the Trekking Shoes. And I believe that is an Arven that he got off those Trekking Shoes, and he's going to put that into his hand. Arven, a good card here, can find him those electricity generators to start accelerating energy. But it looks like Isaiah is using an S-Ball here. Let's see what he chooses to grab out of the deck. Looks like he's grabbing another Regieleki V. Yeah, what do you think of the choices of the Pokemon he's choosing to pull out? Do you think that would be what you choose in this matchup, getting those Regielekis out of there?
I mean, I don't think they're necessary, right? Because I mean, I don't think any of his Pokemon are that beefy. You know, I mean, I guess to be fair, he could evolve one of them, get the 30 extra damage, and I'm pretty sure is Wugtrio weak to electric, and they have
Yeah, I think
much
so.
HP?
I think so, about 9. I think they're 90 HP.
90. Okay, well then
Yeah.
then that would be enough to knock out with a Regieleki. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I figured he would just get another Raikou.
Yeah.
Honestly, just because it would give him the draw power just in case he did need it.
Yeah, I
And
think
it's
here
definitely-
Isaiah's got to be careful about how many cards he's taking out of his deck. Really, he just needs to power up one attacker.
Man, he got
Um,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Looks like he used Fleet-footed there and was getting another 4 Seal Stone off the top of the deck with that Fleet-footed ability.
Okay. Has he used his Arven yet?
He has not used Arven yet.
Okay.
He's still got that in hand. So we'll see what he chooses to do here.
Yeah, definitely a tendency of us Pokemon players, especially when we don't play something. We like to play Yu-Gi-Oh sometimes and just get all our cards in. So
So it looks like Isaiah's choosing here to attach an energy to that Raikou and then play Arven, grabbing the electricity generator and EXP share.
He must not. That must be the only tool he plays then,
Yeah.
because it's
Usually he'd be grabbing Forest Seal Stone there,
Right,
but he's
right,
already
right.
got those.
yeah. So
See what he's able to do here. If he can hit 2 energy off that electricity generator, he's going to be feeling good. But one thing to note is it cannot attach energy to his active, so it's not going to help power up that Raikou. So electricity generator, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and attach any electric energy you find, up to electric energy you find there, to your bench Pokemon. So it looks like he was able to get 1 electric energy off of that. Always good to hit something.
Yeah, it's
always
like, feels
feels
good.
bad
Feels
to whiff on the electricity generator. But going in there with 1 electricity generator, getting 1 energy, we'll see where he chooses to attach that energy. Looks like he's putting it on the Regieleki V that has the experience share.
passing.
And he's forced to just pass, which does put him a turn behind, unfortunately, which is not something he necessarily wants to do in this matchup. Although it does mean that John is not going to be able to use Wugtrio this turn, because I would assume that John is counting on reversal energy to power up that Wugtrio. And so, given that Isaiah did not take a knockout there, reversal energy is not live. So no matter what, John's not going to be able to use Wugtrio this turn. But I did see, I think, a Misfortune Sisters coming down off of that Pokegear, which is another way for him to be discarding cards out of Isaiah's deck.
Taking off what is it, the top 5 cards?
Yeah, I believe you look at the top 5 and discard any item cards you
Oh
find there.
my gosh.
So John
he doesn't know he's still
slapping
did
down
anything.
that Misfortune Sisters. Isaiah's got to read that card a little bit. I would probably have to as well.
Oh, goodbye, electric generators.
But there's the top 5 cards. John gets to look at those. Normally Isaiah does not actually technically get to look at those, but we're about to see 3 item cards get discarded.
Ball, switch, and oh, that hurts.
Yeah, that is
hurts.
that is a tough Misfortune Sisters there. Looks like we have a couple issues going on with the stream right now. We will get those fixed here shortly, however. All right, so we're back. Sorry about those difficulties there, but it looks like John was able to evolve one of those Wiglets into a Wugtrio and then just pass his turn back to Isaiah. Isaiah here's getting that Mareep evolved there into that golden secret rare Flaffy.
Oh my goodness.
One of those Regieleki Vs into a VMAX. So I would not be, or I would be surprised if Isaiah wasn't able to take a knockout this turn on the barrel.
He is going through his deck right
Yeah,
now.
he is. He is turboing through that deck for John. I think Isaiah's going to have to be careful here and make sure he slows down discarding those cards out of his deck, because John's going to, every time Isaiah's playing a card here, John's just like licking his chops. That's
like
one more card.
One less card.
Yeah.
One less card.
So
Looking like he just took a knockout.
looks
so
like he did take a knockout on that barrel there with Raikou's, is it Lightning Rondo attack?
Yeah, Lightning Rondo, right.
So Isaiah goes down to 5 prize cards remaining, but his deck, he's got enough cards left in deck where he could survive, but
right.
now he has activated all of John's reversal energies.
Doesn't look like he has any way to draw more cards unless he gets something off of that Pokegear.
So it looks like John's using that rescue carrier to get that Bidoof back. He's got I think that's a Roseanne's backup in hand. But he's just about to play another Misfortune Sisters. Let's see what he's able to discard this time from Isaiah's deck. So Isaiah showing the top 5 cards here.
Ooh,
No item cards this time.
Lucky,
Isaiah got lucky.
Ooh.
So, all right, John's just going to have to sacrifice Another Pokemon here, he does have a Bibarel in hand to evolve that Bidoof he got back this turn on his next turn to draw a few more cards, but John's desperately in need of a few more Wugtrios and some reversal energies to start milling Isaiah's deck, and Isaiah helped him out a little bit, not getting a KO that first turn and discarding a lot of cards out of his own deck, but if John doesn't get going here pretty soon, he's in trouble.
I wish we had a count on the number of cards he had left in his deck, just like in PTC Geo Live. Or something.
Yeah.
If only.
Isaiah here with a ton of cards in hand, using fleet-footed, slapping down a stadium here, slapping down that beach court. I don't really know about how I feel about playing that beach court.
Yeah, because it helps him too. It helps John too.
Really, all Isaiah needs to do here is just keep attacking with that Raikou, taking a knockout every turn. And that beach court definitely does help John out.
Oh, we got the boss's orders up, pulling up that Bidoof, knocking it out.
That's a good play from Isaiah there, playing that boss's orders, knocking out John's consistency on board, making sure that he's not able to evolve into that Bibarel and start using Industrious Incisors to draw more cards. Hopefully Isaiah is just going to choose to attack here, and it looks like he does. That Bibarel getting KO'd a second turn in a row.
It's like, man, just can't let him have fun.
Can't let him have that. So, looks like John has that Roseanne's back in hand. He's going to play a level ball here. He also does have a Pokegear. I don't know if he's playing any sort of draw supporters, but if he is, maybe he can Pokegear into something.
He does have a level ball too. You think he would already have used the level ball to just get another Bidoof from his deck?
See
what he's only playing 1/1 line now. It's like, man, ooh.
Yeah.
Living on edge right now.
I think I see him grabbing, another
There
Bidoof there. So just hoping that Isaiah doesn't have another boss's orders next turn. We'll see what else John is able to put together here. I think he might be in a little bit of trouble here.
I would think he would just use his Pokegear.
We'll see what this Pokegear does, though. Yeah.
Let's see it. What's he got left in his hand? Oh, Roseanne's backup.
Is it Roseanne's research? Roseanne's back.
I'm pretty sure it's Roseanne. Ooh, you know what?
You'll have to look that one
let
up.
Let me use the. Let me go into my brain real quick and figure that out. 1 second. Pretty sure it's Roseanne's backup though.
All right, so John is using this
you're right,
Roseanne's research. All right.
You're right.
I think Roseanne's backup is a card from like back in the day.
Oh jeez.
So John here using that
age.
Pokegear to look at the top 7 cards of his deck and grab a supporter card from there. But I think he's whiffed there on that Pokegear. No supporter for John this turn. He does have the Roseanne's research in hand, but that's not really doing anything for him right now.
I think that only gets it from the discard pile, if I'm right.
It does. It puts cards from your discard pile back in your deck. It's a way for him to get those reversal energies back once they're discarded. But he's just, once again, not able to do anything this turn and forced to pass it back to Isaiah, who draws, I think, a Pokegear for turn now. Isaiah's benching that Radiant Greninja, looking like he's about to use those concealed cards with that Radiant Greninja, but he doesn't need to.
Oh, my bad.
So it looks like Isaiah chooses to retreat into the Regieleki V and use Regieleki to take that knockout there on the Wiglet.
Use the you have to just use the first tag, never mind, yeah, because it's weak too.
Yeah. So let's see what John's able to put together here. He's got that Bibarel finally. That's what he's been trying to do for the past couple turns, is just to get that Bibarel out and start drawing more cards. Now we see him use a Pokegear. I think I probably would have Bibareled first myself, draw into more cards and then Pokegear, and dig it just a little bit deeper into the deck. Yeah. But it looks like he's able to grab a Misfortune Sisters here.
Let's see let's
see what he's able to do.
Doesn't look like he hits.
No items again.
Wow.
So an unfortunate miss for John there, but he is going to be able to use to draw up to 5 cards. That reversal energy finally. So let's see what he's able to do here off that Industrious Incisors.
It looking like he has like 29-ish cards left in deck, so
see another Bidoof, another Roseanne's Research, and another Misfortune Sisters, and a level ball. So I think John's running out of time here. Isaiah's only got 3 prize cards left to take. John hasn't been able to
either. Oh my goodness.
Hasn't been able to attack with that Wugtrio yet. Maybe what we can hope for is that before Isaiah takes all of his prizes, we just get to see that Wugtrio mill one time.
I just want to see it the one time. Hit 3 heads. 3 heads.
All right, so it looks like Isaiah is taking that quick KO there on the Wiglet with the Regieleki V. John to promote the Bidoof because it will have free retreat with that Beach Court out, as long as he doesn't replace it with that Artizone that he has in hand. I think John's just probably gonna have to level ball here, maybe find another Wiglet, retreat into that Wugtrio, and then hope for the best off of Industrious Incisor to see if he can't find that reversal energy.
Do you think he would have benefited from adding a Skwovet into his deck instead?
The funny thing you say that, I think he does have Skwovet in there, and I think he might be going for it right now.
Oh, there it is!
There it is,
Speak of the devil!
grabbing that Skwovet off
savior.
of the Artizone.
The best card in the game.
It is one of my favorite cards in the format right now. I actually played in the Scarlet and Violet format. I was playing Mew VMAX with a Skwovet in there to unclog it. And that was a lot of fun.
It makes sense, hey, and then you just draw back up with Genesect.
Yeah. So it looks like John is using that Artizon to find Skwovet, and then a level ball to find another Wiglet. He's got that Wugtrio there in the active, and he's going to have to decide what to do here on this turn. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an immediate Nest Stash right now, and then drawn up to 5 with the Industrious Incisors to see if he can't find a reversal energy.
Seen one all game. Okay, yeah, he just hasn't gotten one. That's so unfortunate. I guess, though, props to Isaiah for being able to knock out Bidoofs back to back to slow him down. So.
Yeah, that was well played by Isaiah, making sure he gets rid of John's consistency early in the game. Definitely saved him in the later turns here. So it looks like John is playing another Misfortune Sisters. Let's
Does
see
it hit?
if he can hit this time. How many item cards can Isaiah have left in his deck? I don't know.
Another miss. Oh,
you know, I have
my
to
Lord.
think at this point, Isaiah's out of item cards in his deck.
Yeah, I mean,
mostly.
I guess he thinned them out, so.
So John has that
Energy Lotto.
Energy Lotto, searching for that reversal energy in the
7
top
cards
7,
deep.
and he's
It
got it. We're gonna
is.
see
We
the
get to
Wug
see it.
Trio.
3 heads. Come on. 3 heads.
Why are you rooting for destruction?
I
here?
want
You're
3
just like-
heads. One time.
All right, so
One time for the one time.
do you know what the Wug Trio's attack is called? I can't remember.
Man, we're gonna have to look it up
You gotta
real quick.
look it up.
My magic brain right here. Give me 1 second.
So this Wug Trio's attack, now that he's powered up with that reversal energy, John is going to be able to flip 3 coins. And
Undersea Tunnel.
All right, with Undersea Tunnel, flip 3 coins, and for each heads, John is going to be able to discard 3 cards from the top of Isaiah's deck. So a potential 9 cards milled this turn. Luckily for Isaiah, he's only got 2 prize cards remaining. And I think he's got more than 18 cards left in deck.
Oh.
We'll see. So it may be futile at this point, but we'll see what John is able to scrape together here.
Maybe do you think he runs a boss's orders maybe to solve, maybe put that Flaffy up front?
Yeah, potentially.
That'd be the only possible way I could see him coming back from this. I think he just took too long for John to get that Wugtrio set up.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, for sure. So it looks like John is just kind of turboing through his deck a little bit here, finding a lot of Pokemon. I think he's got a Capture Aroma here. Can't tell what he rolled. It looks like it might have been heads.
Yeah.
So looking
It's a
for an
basic.
evolution Pokemon.
Oh, evolution, right?
Is it evolution? I can never
I don't
remember.
know.
a Capture
I think-
Aroma. Well, he grabbed a Barrel, so we're gonna assume it was
yeah,
an
we go.
evolution
Well, there we
Pokemon.
go. That's our own question, John. Thank you.
So John grabbing that other Barrel here. Now this is the board state he hoped he had turn 2. You know, if I think if John has this board state turn 2, this might be a little bit different game, but might be too late here. Time running out for him, and he is going to use that Undersea Tunnel. He's got to flip 3 heads, and I think he's just explaining to Isaiah.
I was about to say,
what
he's
it
about to
does.
build the 9 cards. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, it's more powerful than I thought.
All right, the first one I can't
can't
tell.
see.
I think it was a Tails. I think that's
a
another.
heads. I think that was head. I think that was a 6.
I couldn't tell. We'll see how many cards Isaiah has to mill here.
1, 2,
3,
3, 4, 5, 6. It was 6.
6 cards being milled here
Hey, you know what?
on Isaiah's side of the board, but he's still got a lot of cards in
I
deck.
know.
John's starting to count those and probably starting
That
to
was-
figure out that time may be running out for him here in this game.
That was his first undersea tunnel. It took how many?
5 turns?
5 turns. Oh boy.
4 turns. And Isaiah there just taking the knockout with the Regieleki V, going down to 1 prize card remaining, and John's going to have to boss stall or something here potentially, but I do think that I saw an escape rope already in Isaiah's hand, so even if John tries to stall here, I don't think there's any way that Isaiah doesn't win on the next turn. But we'll see if we can see another undersea tunnel here from John. Maybe we'll get those 3 heads.
We'll get the 3 heads,
see 9
yo.
cards milled, and at least, have
Constellation
something.
prize at this point.
Absolutely. So it looks like we're going to see that first Industrious Incisors for 2. Looks like he got Ultra Ball and maybe another Misfortune Sisters off of that. It looks like he did. He's discarding it with that. All right, choosing to discard the Artizone and the Roseanne's Research with the Ultra Ball. Going into his deck, searching for, I would have to imagine, another Wiglet at this point. Or I guess the Manaphy.
Block that.
I have to
bench
think
damage?
John knows that
It's kind of
time
over.
is ticking down for him, but we'll see. Looks like we're gonna see an Energy Lotto here from John. Looking at the top 7, looking for a Reversal Energy, and he misses. No Reversal Energy in those top 7. Lots
It hurts, Mr. John. I'm sorry,
of
bro.
ball search, but nothing there for him to find. And honestly, I think that in that position, when you have 2 cards left in hand, you probably just have to use your second barrel there and then use that additional dig. If you think about the math of it, that barrel digs 3 more out of your deck, and then you search at the top 7, so you have a chance to hit that Reversal Energy in the top 10 instead of just the top 7. And maybe increasing those odds, but looks like John used Artizone there to shuffle his deck. He's showing off that Misfortune Sisters, showing Isaiah that he's about to probably slap that. Oh, he's nest stashing that. And nest stash is
it's
for the
too
Reversal
good!
Energy. There we
It's
go.
too good!
Can he get the 3 heads this time?
Oh my gosh. Skwovet showing why it is literally the best card in the game right now.
Absolutely. Nest stash really always gets you there. I think that might be 1 head.
That was a 2.
That was-
odds.
The
Oh,
odds.
it's only 3 cards. Oh, it's okay. Hey, you know what? He did it twice. 3 in total. It counts as 1 full head, 3 heads,
Extending
right?
that fist there for a fist bump, knowing that game's over. But we did get to see a few undersea tunnels at least.
Yep.
But Isaiah
Got to see it at the
ultimately
end.
taking it down with that Miraidon, Flaffy, Regieleki deck over the Wug Trio. I think we all know who everyone was rooting for there. Everyone loves to see a good Wug Trio
I know.
come in, but Isaiah playing it well, making sure to boss his orders up those Bidoofs every time they came down, limiting John's draw, and ultimately making it so that he was unable to use that Wug Trio until about turn 4 or 5.
Right.
And at that point, it was just too late.
We have definitely seen the weakness of Wug Trio. I definitely think, though, that he could have benefited from the Mimikyu, the one that prevents damage from Vs and EXs. That way he could have stalled out just a little bit more
Yeah.
for him to be able. I think it would have definitely benefited him right there. That way to hold just a few more turns.
Yeah,
So,
I think you're right about that. I think he needed something to stall the game a little bit there,
Exactly.
while he built up his board, and he just didn't have that. But if he had been able to start the game with a Mimikyu there, maybe
may
stops
have been
Isaiah
different.
from taking a few knockouts there in the early game while he sets up those Bidoofs, while he sets up those Wug Trios. But ultimately, Isaiah able to take it down. So we'll be back here in just a few minutes with a player interview with Isaiah.
Alrighty, so here we are back with Isaiah, the winner of this matchup with Miraidon EX and Wug Trio. So Isaiah, how did it feel against playing Wug Trio?
It was a little interesting. I definitely didn't expect it at all.
Yep.
It caught me off guard quite a bit.
So what's it called? So we noticed that you were able to boss his orders of his Bidoof multiple times, and that we were both agreeing that was probably the probably what won you the game. Were you just trying to dig for bosses' orders that whole time, or were you just trying to thin out your deck of like all the useless cards?
I figured Barrel would be the main draw source.
Yes.
So I was trying to keep the draw source out of his hands, maybe delay him a little bit. Try to keep, because once I knew the Wugtrio was coming out, I figured he can stack these up pretty quick. Try to keep that off the field.
Yes, and it did slow him down because he didn't have an undersea tunnel until like turn 5, I believe. So I had another question too, because whenever we were talking to you with your deck prior to this, you said you don't run the Ampharos EX. Is there a reason why you don't run the Ampharos EX, or?
I've looked at it before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think the main reason I run it, when I was building the deck, I didn't really know where to find it, so I just didn't buy it.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
then,
I haven't really looked at that one.
Okay.
I might have to look at it and see if it's good for the deck.
Okay, fair enough. And then one last question. So how do you feel about Flaffy instead? Because I know that people are on and off about like putting Flaffy in or just running electric generators. How do you feel about having Flaffy in the deck instead of just the electric generators?
I do like the Flaffy because it makes me way more comfortable getting rid of energy.
Yes.
I don't like
that's
dropping
absolutely right.
without the. I've tried without the Flaffy, and I don't like dropping the energy right away, and then my hand stacks up.
It definitely does help because once you use those electric generators, you don't really have any gas for the end. So the Flaffy hat did show benefit right there whenever you were using it at the end. So, do you have any last thoughts about Wugtrio? Do you think any deck ideas for him? We were talking about maybe him getting maybe the Mimikyu, maybe, because I don't think he had anything other than Squirrelvitz, Bidoof, B-Barrel, and the Wugtrios. Do you think maybe the Mimikyu would have the Psychic V's and EX? Do you think that would have slowed you down, or did you have any way to prevent Mimikyu from stopping?
I think that would have actually worked pretty good because all I really have then is Flaffy and Greninja. Yeah, that's a pretty solid way because a lot of the harder hitting decks in the game are gonna get completely stopped by that card.
Alrighty, well Isaiah, thank you so much for the interview. I appreciate it. That was a little last minute, but I do appreciate it. Congratulations on your win, and hopefully you do. What was it? You're 2-0 now or 1-0?
2-0.
Oh man, I'm going for go 4-0.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, here we go. Maybe we don't go in. That's good. Gets another Wugtrio. So, alrighty. Well, once we come back, we will be going to round 3. So Tom and I will be taking a short break, and then we will get back to round 3. Alrighty, looks like we're going on to the third round. We're gonna have Corinne here on the left side playing Miraidon EX, and we have Holden on the right playing an interesting electric deck. We're just gonna call it Electric Box because there's a wide variety of electric Pokemon in here.
Yeah, so it looks like, I think you said Tapu Koko V, Flying Pikachu V, Miraidon. I don't.
Variety.
Is he playing any Flaffies or anything, or just the generators?
I think he's only playing the generators, I believe. So
And we have Corinne on the left here playing Miraidon. Corinne is a first-year junior here. She just started recently, but she has been tearing up the local scene in terms of cups and challenges. I think she's getting close to like 100 points already
100?
for the 2024 season.
Wow.
So both her and her sister are going for the World's Invite here in their first season. So
that'll be exciting for them.
good luck to them on that. That is awesome. So we'll get this match rolling here soon. I think they're just setting up, getting that dice rolled here to see who goes first, and begin here soon. So we have an electric mirror, it looks like. Interesting thing here is if Holden is playing that Flying Pikachu VMAX, it does prevent damage from basics. So Miraidon, Raikou, not able to attack. I'm not totally sure if Corinne is playing the Regieleki VMAXs or if she's playing like a Flaffy line, but that could potentially throw a wrench into her game plan.
Yeah, we'll
But
just
the
have to-
difficult thing on Holden's side is that Flying Pikachu is weak to electric, and if Corinne is able to boss it up
man.
before it attacks or play an escape route boss sort of play, she's going to be able to take pretty easy KOs on that big VMAX Pokemon.
Yeah, we'll just have to see if Holden does know to pull out the Flying Pikachu VMAX. So I guess they're just rolling to maybe. I guess they're just waiting on.
And I
people
think
to-
we're good to start here if they're able to play.
Yep. I think we just gave them the green light. So
So it looks like Corinne here rolling the die, flipping the coin. For the start, looks like it was a tails. I'm not sure who's going to be going first, but doing out their first hand of 7 cards here. Alright, so it looks like Corinne has that Miraidon EX as her starting Pokemon. That is obviously the best starter you can
It's-
have
yep.
for this deck. Raikou, pretty good as well, but that Miraidon's going to guarantee that you get more of those electric Pokemon onto your bench with its tandem unit ability.
yeah, pretty much it's just a 1-card triple battle VIP pass for the electric
Yeah.
deck. So
Yeah.
one of the powers of Miraidon EX is a strong early game, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Holden here. Those
Ooh.
cool Gengar sleeves, getting his first hand of 7 here out. Must have a basic as he is setting out his prize cards here. See what he's able to start as his basic Pokemon.
Start out with a basic.
Looks like he did.
Okay.
Not quite sure what it was, but it looked like an electric Pokemon.
Yep.
And it looks like it is a 0 or a V. So
Oh my
a
goodness.
serious electric box we have here on the right side.
Maybe he's playing VMAX, the VMAX. I'm not really too sure what the VMAX. So I'm gonna pull that up.
There's
real
the
quick.
V-Star and the VMAX, but looks like Holden is going first. He's even got a Pikachu V as well.
Variety.
Got all of the electric Vs in here. It looks like this is truly a lightning box. I see Lucky Energy in hand, I
Energy,
think. But looks like no energy attachment for turn. He's just passing it over to Corinne, and Corinne has a pretty good start here. It looks like she's got that Beach Court, she's got an energy, she's got the Miraidon EX in the active to search out more basics, and she's got a supporter as well. So some good things cooking here on the left side for Corinne. So it looks like she is using that tandem unit ability here. Going to be searching her deck for 2 basic lightning Pokemon and putting them onto her bench. One of the cool things that these Miraidon decks can do is use that tandem unit to find another Miraidon to tandem unit again, and that looks like what Corinne is going to do here. She's going to find that Regieleki V and another Miraidon EX, and I think we're probably just going to see her go in with another tandem unit ability right away. So tandem unit number 2 here coming for Corinne. searching her deck again for 2 basic lightning Pokemon and putting them onto her bench. Looks like she is playing the Regieleki VMAX, as well as some Flaffies. Yeah, so
tight bench.
yeah, tight
Very
bench.
tight bench.
Looks like she will be grabbing a Mareep here and another Regieleki V. So building up this board state real quick while Holden looked like he was kind of struggling on the other side with that first turn. Corinne's almost got her board fully filled up here and ready to go.
How do you feel about the Regieleki VMAX? I heard that people have been kind of straying away from it now just because it just doesn't do enough, or it just kind of it sits there. I don't know. It's like I've heard a couple of mixed things about Regieleki now. There was a hype for it. Now it's just died down.
Yeah, I think it has some interesting play. It's definitely cool to have sort of that free retreater in the deck.
Right.
But yeah, people have been sort of straying away from it. But Juniors is kind of a different scene as well. Maybe the Regieleki VMAX has some more play in the Juniors format where things can be a little bit different than the Masters. But we see Corinne going in here with a Judge, so both players are going to shuffle their hand into their deck and each draw 4 cards. So Holden already having a tough time setting up on that turn 1.
Yep.
Now getting judged to a low hand size. So we may see, a little bit of a tough game here for Holden on the right side.
Yeah, if he doesn't draw a supporter on these 4 cards, then he might be looking like he's stuck. I seen 2 Pokemon, or one of them a Miraidon. Well, I see a Regi VMAX. Oh, it's all 4. Just all 4 of them were Pokemon.
Oh no.
All 4 of them were Pokemon.
It looks like Corinne has another Miraidon in hand. Maybe I saw a Flaffy as well, but looks like she does have an electricity generator.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to be able to play that down, look at the top 5 cards of her deck, and choose up to 2 lightning Pokemon, or lightning energy she finds there, and attach them to her bench of Pokemon in any way she likes. And she hits the double lightning energy off of the electricity generator.
The better player.
Yeah.
The better player.
Sometimes it's a skill issue.
It's just a bit of a skill dip, much like Cram-O-Matic with Mew.
No, that's always a great feeling to hit 2. Even 1 is good. It's always heartbreaking when you hit 0, but 2 is wild. So if she's able to get another electricity generator, I'm not sure she'll be able to. I don't think she had one in hand, but she got pretty close to that turn 1 attack with hitting 2 on the electricity generator.
Let me think of a bit of a misplay. She did attach, I think that's an energy right at the front one. Yeah, so she could have attacked, but
so she does have, it looks like she does have the escape rope in hand too. So, maybe with a little bit different energy attachments, might have been able to get that turn 1 attack. But looks like Holden here is able to evolve that Zeraora V into Zeraora VMAX. Benches another Pikachu V, benches a Raikou V, but doesn't have anything else in hand.
That Judge. Like the perfect Judge for Corinne over there.
So it looks like Corinne able to evolve that Mareep into Flaffy, and using the Miraidon EX's tandem unit ability here to search her deck, maybe looking for another Mareep, or maybe getting a Raikou out into play. And it looks like she opts for the Raikou V here.
We'll currently look up what Zeraora VMAX does. There we go. I got another Viking.
So Corinne shuffling up here after that tandem unit. I believe she had an energy in hand, but she looks like she does have that energy in hand, so she will be able to attach to that benched Miraidon EX and retreat into it to get an attack off this turn. Question is, does she have a supporter to start, digging through that deck, trying to find those Regieleki VMAXs? Doesn't even have to retreat here, uses that escape rope, roping around the Zeraora VMAX into something that she's going to be able to one-shot with this Miraidon EX. So a good play there, having that rope in hand, able to ensure that she gets a knockout here where the Miraidon would not have been able to take a KO on that Zeraora.
It was a good, because it's like you cannot use the Miraidon again to attack. So she would have to find another escape rope or another switch to be able to attack again. It's not like she's too concerned about the VMAX either, because it looks like Holden is not able to get an energy attachment to his Pokemon.
All right, so we passed over to Holden here, who's got to, send something up to the active. There he goes, sending that Zeraora into the active, attaching for turn. think we're just gonna see a few more things benched and
just
another
there's
pass
the Tapu
here.
Koko Vs.
The only thing saving Holden right now is that Miraidon EX is not able to attack again on this turn. But Corinne, depending on what she has in hand, she has that Flaffy out. She might be able to power up something else. Looks like she's going for an energy attachment here on the other Miraidon EX. She's got an Ultra Ball in hand. And I wonder... Looks like she is going to Ultra Ball away the rest of that hand. Maybe finding one of those Regieleki VMAXs.
There it is.
Looks like that's what she chose to grab. That is going to make her basic lightning Pokemon do 30 more damage with their attacks to her opponent's Pokemon. So as soon as she gets 2 of those Regieleki VMAXs out, this Miraidon's attack is going to be doing 280 damage. Still not quite enough to knock out that Zeraora VMAX, but definitely enough to KO any V-Stars or Vs on the field.
I was just reading Zeraora's attack for 2 energy. Stack does 60 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has an ability. So
And Holden here top decks that
Oh,
energy.
it's
He's going to be able to attack.
it's like 300 damage?
And it looks like he's going to be able to do, 5 times 60. He's going to be doing 300 damage with that Zeraora VMAX to KO this Miraidon EX. The only thing saving Corinne here now is that she's got that Flaffy in play. It's going to be able to power up another attacker with those lightning energies going to the discard pile if Holden does take the knockout here, and it looks like he does. So each player now at 4 prize cards remaining. Corinne setting up that Regieleki VMAX. I think that's a solid play that has free retreat, so it just gives you options in terms of what you want to do on your next turn. But
Looking from a bleak future for Holden now is on even footing with Corinne.
and Corinne, both of them at a 0 card hand, so not much she can do aside from powering up that benched Miraidon EX with that Flaffy. The interesting thing though is I think she still has 4 abilities in play, so that Zeraora is going to be able
Still
to
enough.
KO this next Miraidon if she does send it up. So some tough decisions here, I think, for Corinne. And I think the card in hand might have just been a Powpad, and I think she took that electric energy from the discard and put it in hand, but I think that's going to be going onto the Miraidon with Flaffy's ability.
Trying to see what Holden has in his hand because he did get 2 prize. It looks like he did get a. I want to say that was a Professor's Research he got off at the top from the prize
That would
cards.
be
That was
wild for Holden. Let's see what Corinne's doing here. She's got that Powpad in hand. She has that energy. She's attached it to the Miraidon. I do think that came from the discard pile, but she does have that Flaffy, and now showing that she used that Flaffy's ability. So no gameplay errors there. Everything is, the game state is still intact. She's got that Powpad, but I think the only supporter she's played this game is that one judge. I guess technically she could shuffle that back into the deck and just up her chances of finding a
Getting another
supporter
support
off
card,
the
yeah.
top deck. But it looks like she's using the tandem unit here. I think one thing that she needs to be careful of is making sure she's not getting another Pokemon with an ability in play. Just powering up that Zeraora even more. Looks like she does have that Ampharos EX in deck though, which is potentially a very interesting card in this matchup. That's a really beefy Pokemon that does not have an ability, so it powers down that Zeraora VMAX's attack when she evolves this Flaffy, while being able to tank a couple of hits with that Ampharos EX, but it would mean that she loses that Flaffy's ability to attach lightning energy from the discard pile to her Pokemon. So we'll see what Corinne's able to piece together here. She's gonna do 250 damage to this Zeraora VMAX, but it's gonna immediately take a knockout in return, so she's gonna have to make sure that she has a backup attacker here going into this next turn, which is going to be tough. She does have that Flaffy and the Regieleki with free retreat, so she'll be able to get 1 energy onto the Raikou V with the Flaffy's ability, but then she's going to be sort of living off the top deck if she doesn't find an energy or a way to find an energy for attachment for turn. It's going to be tough, but she does make, I think, the right call here. A difficult call, but not sending up a Pokemon that the Zeraora VMAX is going to be able to KO with its attack. So she wasn't able to do damage this turn, but she is ensuring that without a boss's orders in hand, Holden is not going to be able to take a knockout here. I'm not seeing what Holden had in hand, but he does have an energy to attach the Zero Aura VMAX. So now both of its attacks are powered up. What does that second attack do on the Zero Aura?
So it is called Max Fist, and it does 240 damage. But he has to discard 2 energies for it.
Alright, so he's doing 240 damage either way with either attack. Corinne finds an Ultra Ball off the top. That's not really the card she was looking for, but she is going to be able to use this Flaffy's ability to power up that Raikou, which means she can retreat into the Miraidon this turn, attack with it, then send up the Regieleki again next turn as a free retreater, and use the Flaffy again to power up that Raikou. So she is, over the course of the next 2 turns, going to be able to take a KO on the Zero Aura VMAX if she plays her cards right. So it looks like we are seeing that retreat here. Who she bring up? I think she had an Ultra Ball and Pal Pad in hand. Neither of those cards really helping her out here, but choosing to use that tandem unit ability to find another Pokemon. And Mareep, I think, is a good call here. If she's able to get 2 Flaffies out, her ability to power up, attack her every turn is going to be greatly increased here.
It would be very dangerous because it's just going to be just one more ability for 60 more damage onto the board for her. Hold it over here, so.
Alright, so it looks like she's retreating into that Mareep, choosing not to attack into that Zero Aura, which I think at this point is potentially a mistake. She had, that line of play to be able to KO it over the course of 2 turns.
Right.
I don't think she's ever going to be able to one-hit KO this Zero Aura VMAX. So it's interesting that she's choosing to not attack into it, but sacrificing that Mareep, Holden taking another prize card, going down to 3, and Corinne draws for turn. Let's see what she was able to grab. It looks like a Raikou V off the top. She's got Ultra Ball and Pal Pad in hand, choosing to Ultra Ball away those cards, and see what she chooses to grab out of the deck here.
She still has a chance. She just needs to attack with that Miraidon EX and then finish it off with Raikou, because Holden does not have another Pokemon powered up or a way to accelerate the energy.
That's true. So Holden's going to be in a tough spot if the Zero Aura VMAX goes down, but given that Corinne chose not to attack into it over the last 2 turns, it's going to be another 2 turns before it's gone.
Right.
Corinne Ultra Balling for this Regieleki VMAX here, though. Going to be able to evolve that V. Gives her a second free retreater on the board, as well as powering up her basic Pokemon's attacks. So now that Miraidon is doing 280 damage with its attack. Not going to be quite enough to knock out the Zero Aura, but
how much HP does... Let me look at how much Zero Aura has for HP real quick.
I think it's 320 on that guy.
You are absolutely right, 320. So it's just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Still's going to have to be a 2-shot.
See what Corinne chooses to do here. I think she has to just retreat into that Miraidon and attack here for 280. She's been hesitant to sacrifice that Miraidon EX, but I think at this point there's nothing else on your board you can sacrifice. You got to get that attack in.
It's definitely one of those... I've never seen this deck before, so I don't know what to do against it kind of moments, especially being junior. So she does, I mean, she has game on board pretty much, but now that, because she gave up the prize card with the Mareep, all Holden has to do is just knock out that Regieleki, and that's game right there for him as well. So
looks like she's choosing to retreat into the other Regieleki VMAX. I'm curious why she's thinking of not attacking here with the Miraidon EX, but we got to see an attack going here to get rid of that Zero Aura. It's really Holden's only attacker, and if she's able to take that down, he doesn't really have anything else going on board. But we see Holden draw for turn here, draws into an energy, so that means those Pokemon on his bench that have no energy, they're starting to get powered up. So even if the Zero Aura goes down, he might have a backup. It looks like he's got a Professor's Research. He's going to research away that hand. He had an electricity generator, but chose not to use it. Who needs those?
Yeah. It's too far ahead.
Thinking far ahead here.
Flexing.
Uses that Professor's Research, draws into a good amount of energy. And I think we're just going to see another attack here for 240 damage onto this Regieleki VMAX.
Does it not do 3 300. I think it does 300.
Is it
now.
doing?
I think it's doing 300 now
Because she evolved that other
yeah.
Regieleki. So.
Oh my, and it,
Oh
my
man.
gosh.
So
Zero or a VMAX being a.
Holden just a boss's orders away from winning this game on his next turn, and Corinne's got to put something together here soon.
You know, Olin just needs to look into the direction of any of those Pokemon and they will disappear.
Go down. I think that Tapu Koko might even have an attack for 1 energy that does like 20 damage or something. So even that would be able to get there on that Regieleki that's got 300 damage on it. So Corinne draws for turn. She had no cards in hand. Didn't see what she drew into for turn. But she's going to use this Flaffy here to power up. I would assume that Raikou. Oh, choosing to attach to the Flaffy, so preparing to bring that Ampharos EX out.
Alrighty.
And we'll see what that card is in hand. Can't quite see it.
I think it could be an Ampharos. If she's powering it
If she's
on.
choosing to power it up, maybe it is
Yeah.
that Ampharos. And
Yep,
it is.
there
She's
it is.
choosing to evolve it. Again, I think that may be a bit of a misplay here. She wants to get that Raikou powered up as a backup attacker, but she's going to have to, I think here she could have powered up that Raikou, retreated into it, used the fleet-footed ability to draw an extra card because she's having a tough time drawing through her deck right now, and being able to get an attack into that Zeraora, which could be followed up by that Miraidon to take a KO on it. But not quite seeing that line there. I think she's using this Tandem Unit ability here, maybe going to find another Mareep so that she has a chance of finding a Flaffy next turn and still having that on board, even though she evolved her Ampharos this turn.
Yeah, she may have lost her Flaffy this time, but it does drop the damage from the Zero Aura VMAX, and so from a whopping 300 just into a plain old 240. It still one-shots the Miraidon and the Raikou.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that she can take out this Zero Aura VMAX before dropping down that Flaffy, because 300 is a spooky number.
That's a lot of damage.
That has a lot of damage. Do you think she's a little hyper focused on the one shot, maybe?
I think she's much too focused on that one shot, and I don't think she can ever get there without.
Like
I
a
think
choice spell.
She's going to need 4 Regieleki VMAXs in play
you're
to get
right.
that one
Mhm.
shot.
Yep.
Just too
Not
hyper
enough
focused on
space.
it. Doesn't want to give up those additional prize cards, but what she's really ended up doing is not putting any pressure on Holden when he was in a position of weakness, only having that one Pokemon powered up. And now he's just able to take that, and any KO here is going to win Holden the game. So we'll see what Corinne's able to do here. She draws for turn, finds the electricity generator. If she can hit 2 energy off this and attack with the Ampharos, she might be saved. Let's see what she's able to hit. She hits 4
so many!
energies.
It's so many!
Only 2 of those are going to be able to go on, but I think those are immediately getting attached to that Ampharos, retreating out of that Regieleki VMAX into that Ampharos, which can take a hit from that Zeraora without getting KO'd. And Corinne might have been saved there by that top deck of the electricity generator.
Sometimes, we just have to do a collab with Yu-Gi-Oh! And play Heart of the Cards right here. My gosh. It's just unfortunate that the Regieleki ability doesn't work with evolution Pokemon. It only works with basic. So I think, how much does the third attack do? It's like 240?
Yeah, 240, but it does have to discard 2 energy. So if she's going to have to 2-shot this Zeraora, I don't recall how much damage the Ampharos EX's first attack does, but she may want to go for that if it leads to a 2-shot, so she doesn't have to discard any of the energies
We're
here.
about to find out, unless she... Feroz VMAX?
EX, I think.
Oh, EX, sorry. It does 60 damage. It's a lot of damage.
Okay, so she can do 60 damage here, and then the 280 with the Miraidon next turn would take the KO on this Zeraora VMAX. And it looks like that is what she... I think that's a 60 damage marker on there.
Yeah.
So it looks like she is using that first attack on the Ampharos, using it as a big beefy shield here against the Zeraora, and that's not going to be able to take a KO on it. So Holden's going to have to be looking for a boss's orders here to win, but he does not have that in hand, I don't believe. Chooses to just attach an energy to his other Tapu Koko V. And I think we're just going to see an attack here for 240 damage from this Zeraora VMAX onto this Ampharos, which has, I think, 310 HP. So a big, beefy Stage 2 Pokemon here that is going to be able to absorb a lot of damage.
Corinne is still on thin ice because all Holden needs is that one boss's orders, and it's game over at this point. But and all Corinne needs to do is just knock out that one VMAX, because as of right now, the only thing Holden has is the Tapu Koko V, and I think it only has. Oh, you attach one energy to each of them, so.
Yeah. So
don't know what
choosing to split that energy out, depending on what that Tapu Koko V's first attack does, I think he may be thinking all I need is a boss's orders. But I also think that you probably just want to have another attack powered up. He does. I'm curious what happened. Looks like Corinne was able to take the KO. Do we want to go maybe pause? I don't think she was able to take KO there. I think she might have been thinking that the Regieleki VMAX does boost the damage of that Ampharos, but I'm not sure it does in this situation. So it looks like we're going to try to see if we can pause the game here. Can get confused sometimes that its ability is boosting the damage of lightning type Pokemon, but the Regieleki VMAX actually only boosts the damage output of basic lightning type Pokemon, and so I don't think it would actually take KO on the Zeraora VMAX there. I think the only way for Corinne to be able to do that is to attack with the Miraidon.
Alrighty, I have gotten some clarification. It looks like the Zeraora VMAX definitely did have damage on it already, and she just needed to.
It didn't have enough though, because she did 60 and then 240, and it had 320 HP, right?
60 and 240. So maybe what it was that she thought. I guess maybe that's already a. What do we do at this point?
I think we might want to go grab the judge and make sure this gets fixed here,
quick, so.
and pause their play so we don't get any further into a gameplay error.
Alrighty, we have just found out clarification that she had enough damage to knock it out. She just needed to discard the 2 energy, and it looks like it is game over.
Yeah, so it looks like what happened there, we'll try to clear this up, but what happened there was on that first attack with the Ampharos, Corinne attacked with the second attack, which does 140, and chose not to discard the 2 energy. So despite the fact it looked like on our screen here that Zeraora VMAX only had 60 damage on it, it actually had 140 damage on it. And then when she attacked again, she just forgot to discard the energy.
Yes.
But with discarding the 2 energy from the from the Ampharos EX, she was able to do 240 and knock out that Zeraora. Yep. Holden didn't have a boss's orders or another attacker really powered up, and so Corinne just had to retreat into the Miraidon EX on her next turn to take the final KO she needed to win the game there. So Corinne does come out on top. A little bit of clarification needed there, but sometimes when we have newer players that are just learning the game, we just want to make sure things are going correctly. But both players well played, in a tough position for both of them. A lot of the time they were dead drawing a little bit in that game, but we ultimately saw them figure it out, and Corinne was able to come out of a sticky situation.
It's definitely a lot closer than when we were expecting. So
yeah. So congratulations to Corinne, and we'll get her in here for a player interview shortly.
Alrighty, I'm back here with Corinne, the winner of the third round. Corinne, how many? Are you 3-0 or? I know it's kind of nerve-wracking, so it's okay if you don't want to answer. It's all right. So, it's you've been doing a very good job with performing. This is only your first year playing Pokemon, am I right?
Yeah.
And you and your older sister, Lorelai, am I correct?
Yeah, it's Lorelai.
Yep. Did y'all like Pokemon from a young age?
We started out with collecting the cards,
Okay.
and then over time we just decided to
Yep.
play.
Yep. And you picked it up real quick. I'm just, that's how usually most people start out. They play, they collect and then they kind of get a little curious, but you and your sister are doing very well. I am very amazed at how well you are progressing in this, and I hope that and how many points you said you had 120 points in Pokemon points right now?
Yes.
And they are trying to get into their Worlds invite so that they can go compete against the more juniors and seniors. So, and I think there's only 3 rounds in juniors, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you were able to get your 3 prize packs plus one of the series packs. So hopefully you get good pulls from that, and hopefully you continue on playing and enjoying the game. So, Corinne, thank you for joining me on this interview.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Alrighty, looks like we are back for the final round of the Forge local tournament for Pokemon. And it looks like it is Isaiah versus Noah. Isaiah on the right playing Miraidon EX, and Noah on the left playing Arceus something.
Something, yeah. So we have, actually, sorry, Noah on the right.
Oh, my
and
sorry,
Isaiah on the left. Isaiah,
bad.
we streamed earlier playing against the Wug Trio. Isaiah is playing, I believe it was the Miraidon deck. I think Noah on the right here playing Arceus, Umbreon, It
Oh, there it
looks
is.
like with, I believe, the Slay King V as well.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see how this matchup goes. I think with the Duraludon, you might normally say that this might be favored for Noah because he's able to take those Okos on both Raikou V and Miraidon EX with the Duraludon. But that's going to be a little bit tougher potentially now. He's got to utilize that Slay King and make sure that they're on that correct prize trade so that the Slay Kings,
Yes,
whatever
Slay
it's
Kings,
called, its ability says that it can only attack if your opponent has 6, 4, or 2 prize cards remaining.
But it does a lot of damage, doesn't it? It does like
I believe it's 260 damage for 4 colorless energy. So Noah's got a lot of VMAXs here. It looks like Umbreon VMAXs in this opening hand. And Avery as well, which is definitely not the card that Miraidon loves to see. See who's able to go first here. I think our players are just waiting for word that they can get going here.
no any good jokes. Not appropriate for stream.
You'd have to mute us.
Yeah, you have to mute us, and then y'all can like decipher what we say, right? So what? So I guess to talk about the Slay King, because I'm not well versed in Slay King and having Umbreon, right? So would he be running like Paths to the Peak to turn off that ability? That way he can just bonk people for
Yeah,
the 260?
I would assume that he's running at least a couple Paths to the Peak to turn off that Slot King's ability. But he also might be assuming that he's never going to allow his opponent to get on an odd prize trade.
Right,
Unless they're
right.
able to one-shot an Umbreon VMAX as well. So
I guess I guess to be fair too, if it just gets one hit, then I think it does its job, right? I think is what 260 is enough to knock out all Vs, and maybe some V stars. So.
Yeah, any basic EXs, any basic Vs with a choice belt on, it'll probably
290.
KO any V star as well.
Right.
So,
See what is I mean the only thing that could withstand is a Regieleki VMAX, so yeah, it's pretty much be one-shotting. Looking like he
looks like Noah's watching the stream so that he can see his opponent's hand. No.
we watching. We see you out there.
I don't know if they've got. Do you want to just hop out there? And
Yeah.
tell them that he's
I'll be right back. Let me get some.
They might not have heard the timer go.
Yeah. Sorry. Y'all get started. Sorry.
So it looks like we have the fist bump here. Noah starting with the Arceus on the right. Isaiah starting with the Regieleki V on the left. Looks like Noah is going first here. He's got an Umbreon V to bench. He's got a Nest Ball in hand. And he has an energy and a supporter for next turn. So that's kind of everything you want to see as an Arceus player. You can't get much of a better start than that. Isaiah here just asking to read that Umbreon V. And it looks like Noah is going for... I can see what another Arceus here. I think it's good always to make sure you have a second Arceus V-Star ready to go.
Yep. Miraidon is capable of doing a turn 1 knockout.
Yeah, so certainly for looks like Noah decided to go for that Slay King, but if Isaiah is able to draw hot here, he can power up that Miraidon EX and take a KO on this Arceus V here on his first turn. So Noah kind of, playing the odds here. If he doesn't get another Arceus V down, he may just fall so far behind in this matchup that there's nothing he can do if Isaiah is able to get this powerful turn 1 here. But it looks like we have an attach of that dark energy here to Arceus V for turn.
It's a bit of a disrespect. It's a little disrespect.
Pass it over.
Boy. What?
He did just draw 2. I'm gonna.
Because
he
of
had
the
a
mulligan. The mulligan.
He hadn't drawn
okay,
for his mulligan,
okay.
which so just a little bit out of order there, but no gameplay errors really. No broken game state here.
Pot agreed. I was like,
looks like Isaiah benches the Raikou V here. He's got electricity generator in hand, a Serena, 2 Serenas actually, and an energy and a switching card. He would have liked to see, I think, a Miraidon And I think I might have liked to see him play that Serena
Serena,
first to try to find more Pokemon starts. And well, hey, you know what paid off? He
Never
gets 4
punish.
energy off
Never
the
punish with
electricity
electric.
generator. And he's going to be able to attach those immediately to that Raikou V. And he has a switch card in hand, so he's going to be able to get damage at least into this Arceus V. We're not going to see a knockout here on the Arceus V, so Noah saved from that terrible fate.
Yes.
But still damage coming down that is going to pay off for Isaiah on his second turn, when he should be able to finish off that KO on the Arceus V-Star if Noah's able to evolve it. So we see that switch come down, Raikou into the active. A fleet-footed draws Isaiah into a Regieleki VMAX. And I think that we'll probably also see Isaiah Serena away, maybe one of those VMAXs in the Drapion. So he's Serenaing away Serena, Energy, and Drapion to draw 3, holding on to both of those Regieleki VMAXs. Gets to draw 3 cards, draws into Energy. I think that's a Beach Court and a Trekking Shoes. Trekking Shoes discards that Lightning Energy, finds himself a Pokegear, which is going to be good for him next turn, but he's still kind of struggling. He really would have loved to have found that Miraidon EX. And the tough thing for him here too is Raikou V only has 200 HP. And so if Noah does play the Choice Belt and is able to tutor it out with that Arceus V-Star Starbirth V-Star ability, that Raikou is going to go down next turn.
Yeah, definitely.
Potentially.
Yeah, definitely. Isaiah definitely did maybe play out of order. You could have seen more cards that way to be able to look for that Miraidon. I guess hindsight is 2020 though, because we did see that all 5 of the cards were just electric energy. So
yeah. So it looks like Isaiah here is using that Pokegear. Looks like he has a choice between Arven and Professor's Research, and opts just for the Professor's Research. I think that's a good call here. Needs to see a fresh hand next turn. Needs to dig further, find those Miraidon pieces, start getting his board set up, and get more electricity generators and get more energy in play. We do see though that he was able to get 3 energy in play on this first turn. Not bad.
Can't complain.
But
Can't
if
complain.
if Noah is able to get that Choice Belt and get this KO on the Raikou, I have to think that Isaiah is going to be put in a pretty tough position here without having much of an established board state going into his next turn.
Yeah, because no other Pokemon other than the VMAX is in hand. Yeah, just a bit of a dead turn for Isaiah as of right now, but.
All right, so it looks
see.
like we
Ultra Ball.
see, what is that, 80 damage come down onto the Arceus. Noah able to Ultra Ball away Avery and Iono here. Not feeling like he wants to give Isaiah a fresh hand here with the Iono, so he's just going to Ultra Ball to find the Arceus V-Star. And I have to believe we're going to see probably a Starbirth here for a double Turbo Energy and a Choice Belt to take a KO on this Raikou V. We'll see what else he has in hand. I see that Noah actually Ultra Balled away that Iono because he already had
another
another one
Iono.
in hand. But
There's
he's
the Choice
pulling that
Belt.
Choice Belt immediately to the front of the deck, pulling that double Turbo Energy to the front of the deck, and we are going to see a KO here on that Raikou V. While he's still able to power up, I would have to imagine that Slaking V with this Trinity Nova.
Man, oh man, this is
Starbirth once again proving what a powerful V-Star power it is. Arceus really isn't going anywhere. This card has been good since it came out, and it's been over a year. It's almost been a year and a half that Arceus V-Star has been out, and it continues to prove why it's just one of the best cards in the game.
Yep.
Compare it with almost any V Pokemon and just have a good deck.
Or what the young kids would call it cracked.
Yeah.
One would say.
So we see Noah Iono here. Both players shuffle their hand to the bottom of their deck and draw a card for each prize card they have remaining. So both of them going to draw up to 6. Noah shutting off any V abilities with that Spiritomb.
No Raikous.
It definitely shuts off that Raikou V's ability, so limits that just sort of slight additional draw that can get Miraidon there in certain circumstances with that fleet-footed ability. I see Noah also, I believe, drew into a Professor's Research. So he's going to have a lot of options next turn. I think I see a Flying Pikachu potentially as well in that hand. So do we see Flying Pikachu V come down and make it so that Isaiah can't attack into it with basics? But it looks like we don't see that Pikachu come down. It looks like we are just going to see the Trinity Nova here from Noah. And I want to say he's probably going to move towards powering up that Slot King because it does have the potential to one-shot basically any attacker that Isaiah is going to use. And we do see 3 basic energies coming down from that Trinity Nova attack onto the Slay King. So we have Isaiah's turn here. He was finally able to find himself a Miraidon, bring that Miraidon down using the Tandem Unit ability, finding himself a Mareep, and we'll see what else he's able to grab out of here with the Tandem Unit ability. Lots of Miraidon decks tonight.
I know. I was like, random side note: does Spiritomb turn off your own V's basic abilities?
It does turn off your V's,
Oh.
so that is shutting off that Slot King's ability as
Ooh,
well.
boy.
So we didn't even consider that when we were talking about it earlier. We were thinking Path to the Peak, and Noah was 5 steps ahead of us there with that
Like,
Spiritomb.
he's playing 4D chess while we're playing checkers right here.
Yeah,
So.
I guess so.
Wow.
You know, people see that Spiritomb V as, or the Spiritomb as that Mew counter, shutting off the Genesect Vs. But in this, he's not really countering anything. He's
Nope.
just turning off his own abilities
telling-
on purpose.
Yeah, telling Slack King he's had enough.
Yep. No loafing around.
Yep, exactly. Turn off that ability.
Looks like Isaiah has another electricity generator here, so may be able to power up that Raikou V on the bench and take a KO on this Arceus V star.
How many?
So he
Like 80, so he needs 200 damage.
He gets 1 energy off of that. He does still have his attachment for turn, so I haven't seen what's in his hand. He may be able to power up that Raikou, but can he get this Regieleki V out of the active spot?
Is he doing enough damage? It does, right? Like 200?
So he would be doing
20.
220 minus too much math right now, but he'd
Yeah,
be doing
yeah.
180. So that would only be 260 onto this
like not
Arceus.
enough.
It's not quite enough. He'd need to find the Regieleki VMAX as well to take that KO. And I'm not quite sure what Isaiah has in his hand right now.
He did have 2 Regieleki VMAXs in his hand, so he does have the
Well, he got Iono'd. So those went to the bottom of the deck, so I'm not sure he'll be able to find those again. It looks like Isaiah has some tough decisions to make here. He does have the attachment for turn onto the Raikou V. He's able to retreat that Regieleki V out of the active position by paying that retreat cost with what he attached to it on that first turn, but chooses to just go into the Miraidon because he can't take the KO on the Arceus V-Star. I think we're actually going to see that energy come down from Noah here onto the Slay King. He's going to be able to retreat out of that Arceus V-Star with that double turbo energy and just take a KO on this Miraidon EX. So things are not looking good for Isaiah here.
Iono showing why it's probably the best supporter.
In the game right
Yeah,
now.
who would have
for
thought?
sure.
Having
Yeah.
a Marnie plus N card would be insane in the meta.
But
Would have
Noah,
thought.
Noah with some big brain plays here. I think he's ultra balling for that Umbreon VMAX. He's probably going to bring up that Raikou V and make
boy.
sure that he takes out Isaiah's only powered up attacker right now. So he's going to be able to not have to KO with that Slay King. He can just avoid that hard retreat from the Arceus V-Star and take the KO on this Raikou V again with the Arceus V-Star and use that Trinity Nova attack to power up that Umbreon or anything else he chooses to bench here. We see that Nest Ball coming down. I wonder if he's looking maybe for another Umbreon. Looks like that is what he chooses off of this Nest Ball, another Umbreon V coming down. Umbreon VMAX using its Dark Signal ability, able to act as a boss's orders that is not a supporter, bring a Pokemon from your opponent's bench into the active spot. Very powerful ability, and we see why here, targeting down Isaiah's only attacker.
Yeah, Umbreon VMAX is like coming back into the meta and stuff like that. It has such good typing and boss's order on command. Oh man, it looks like he just. What just happened here?
So it looks
Oh,
like
knocked out.
there was a Lost City that Noah put into play, so Isaiah's Raikou V goes to Lost Zone. Those energies that were attached to it don't go to the Lost Zone, however, so that if that ends up being an issue, we can correct that.
Yeah.
But things are looking really tough for Isaiah here. Noah down to 2 prizes remaining, and I don't even know if Isaiah can take a KO here.
He's just too far behind. That opening hand, like, it looked promising, but then not starting out with that Miraidon V, and it looks like it's it.
Concession there. I think that Isaiah saw that even if he's able to bring that Raikou V up and take a knockout on that Arceus V Star, Noah just had the Slaking V ready to take a return KO. And so no matter what Isaiah did there, he had just fallen too far behind. Offers that hand to Noah. Well played by both players there. Pretty cool deck we saw from Noah there with the Slaking, opting for that and a Flying Pikachu in that deck over the Duraludon VMAX that we normally see in that deck. So usually we're seeing an Arceus V-Star, Umbreon, Duraludon deck. He chose to go with the Slaking to hit those higher numbers and then also play the Pikachu VMAX to avoid damage from basics. Helps him into decks like Chien-Pao and Lost Box and that sort of thing. So
it definitely was a great option just because, you're going to play Spiritomb for the Mew matchup. It just so happens that it helps you as well. You can use double colorless for it. Good. Hey, good tech. Good tech.
Cool. Very cool. So we'll be back here in just a minute with a winner's interview with Noah. Stay tuned. All right, here we are back with our winner's interview with Noah. Noah, congratulations on the 4-0 tonight at the Forges League night. Tell us a little bit about your deck. I think it's something interesting we haven't seen a ton of. We normally see that Arceus V-Star and Umbreon paired with the Duraludon VMAX, but choosing to go with the Slaking V and the Pikachu instead. Tell us about that.
So I decided to go with the Slaking and Pikachu mainly because Slaking covers the weak Giratina matchups that generally are not favorable for Arc decks, but you can generally tend to turn it around if you can get a Slaking off, maybe one or two, generally favored for you instead of trying to swing with Didon all the time or Duraludon VMAX. And then the Pika covers both Lost Box variants and it helps greatly into Chien-Pao.
Yeah.
So those two decks, Chien-Pao, generally not great. Tina decks, generally not great. You have the Slaking and the Pika answers. On top of having the Umbreon, it's already so great in this meta right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that Spiritomb coming down on that match. The first thing you think is, oh no, he can't use his Raikou Vs anymore, but really you're shutting off that Slaking V's ability. Which tell us about that ability. Is it 6, 4, and 2 prizes when your opponent's on that it can attack?
Yep. So if Slaking has 6, or if you have 6 prizes, 4 prizes, or 2 prizes, so any even count of prizes, you're unable to attack with Slaking V. So you definitely do need to get the Spiritomb down or play a heavier count of Path of the Peak to shut off that ability to attack with it.
Yeah, that was very cool. Normally you see that Spiritomb as like a counter to your opponent, but it was something that actually boosts your own cards in that matchup. So very cool to see there. So how long have you been playing, Noah?
So I've been playing the card game semi-competitively since 2015, but I started to go to big events around more 2016, 2017-ish.
All right.
So I've been playing for quite a while.
Nice. And are you? What are your goals for this new season? We're just getting into the 2024 season here. We're not totally sure where Worlds is going to be next year, but is that something that's sort of on your goals for this season?
So I have school this year. I'm starting college this year. I'm going to be a freshman. So generally, it kind of depends on how hard school is going to be. So it's hard to gauge what my goals are right now. But if school is not a ton of pressure on me, I will be able to probably chase my Worlds invite. I'm not really a day 2 chaser. I'm not that great at the game, but chasing that day 1 invite, potentially getting maybe a top 16 or top 8 at a regional would be probably my goal right now.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. Well, good luck with that, and we hope to see more from you in the rest of the season.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Noah.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I guess that concludes our Tuesday night here at the Forge. A lot of interesting decks, definitely. So
Yeah, a surprising amount of Miraidon, but congratulations to Noah for bringing it down at 4-0 for the Masters with Arceus V-Star. What a surprise. Arceus V-Star
yeah, you know,
is still good.
who would have suspected that a card that searches your whole deck for 3 energy and searches for 2 cards would still be good?
Yeah.
be me.
A shocker for sure. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to tune in here now. I think almost every Tuesday night we'll have Pokemon League here at the Forge, streaming it right here on this channel. Don't forget to visit the Forge at theforgemn.com to check out all of their shop, see where they are located, order things online. And I believe August 8th as well, Tuesday, August 8th, will be a league challenge here at the Forge. So make sure you are here for that. Don't miss out on those sweet, sweet championship points.
Oh, yeah.
Until then, we will see you next time.